welcome to the channel. It's a beautiful day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it, and I'm glad that you could join me. Welcome. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate it. I appreciate all of you. So, as you can see from the little intro there, we're working on the 6000 STE trail mower, and we've got lots of trails that need mowing. So let's get up to the shop and see if we can't work on this a little bit more. This is going to be fun. All right, so here's what we ended up with, right? And I welded that in, so that's nice and strong, and I mean, I can sit on it. It doesn't even buckle under my weight, so there's no way that that little motor is going to do it, and that's in there, so we're good. I think this will hold up just fine. So what we need to do now is put the motor on. It's just 3 bolts, and just verify that our depth and everything is right, see how it lines up with the pulley. So let's slap that motor in. Good job. Perfect fit. Click. Click. And click. Torque to spec. All right, so all that's left to do now is, well, let's throw the belt on there. Let's see if the belt that came with it works or not. All right, so here's the belt that came with it, and I don't know if you can read it there or not. It's a 5L700, which means that this is a 5/8 by 70 inch belt. I don't know why they just couldn't put that on there, but anyways. So let's see how well this thing fits, because I don't really want to go buy one if I don't have to. Oh, this is gonna work. All right, man, this is gonna work. Saving money. All right, well, let's go get those 2 pulleys I had and see which one we want to use. Ta-da and ta-da. So they both spin. This one feels a little grindy. This one, not as much. And if you notice, that one's like black and this one's yellow, and yellow equals performance. So we're definitely going to put the yellow one on here. And my thoughts are this. So something like that. So, yeah. All we're going to need now is, I don't know, a bolt or something to mount it about that height. So let's see what I can dig up. All right, here's what I came up with. So it's just a piece of all thread, right? Some nuts, some washers, and then what we're going to have to do is drill a hole through the deck. At least this is my idea. I'll drill a hole through the deck, and I'll probably weld that bottom nut on, come up through the bottom, right, with a washer, and then another washer on the top. We can tighten that down, and then that's fully adjustable to where we kind of want that pulley to run. And then, since we have some angle iron left, we can probably make some kind of support at the top that can bolt down, and we'll go over to here, but we'll want to make it bolt here. That way we can remove it, for ease of belt situations. Not saying you couldn't get the belt through and around it. Well, yeah, you could still get the belt on there even if it was welded, but in case we decide we want to move that, I know we could have made it tensioned, we could have made it swinging, put a spring on it, but this deck didn't have that anyways. I mean, there's no tensioner on it, so I think this will be okay. I mean, I'm just going to kind of pull it as snug as I think is good, and then mark where I need to drill the hole and punch a hole through it, and yeah, then I'll build that. So let's get to that. right, so I apologize about the noise, but it is raining cats and dogs right now. So let me show you where I'm at with this thing. Every time I grind or weld, it just starts raining cats and dogs. It's like I live in Seattle, or maybe I do live in Seattle. All right, so this is bolted on. It's loose right now. It's just finger tight. But anyways, so it's threaded here, so the pulley is adjustable, and then I have 2 jam nuts down here to keep it from moving anywhere. And then I cut this and I notched it, so I'll heat this up with the torch and flatten it, so I have more area to drill a hole in it to slide over here. And then this end, I'll drill like 2 holes to bolt it down somewhere over here. And it'll go like that, and then kind of, it just needs a slight bend. But I want to clear the pulley. So, something like that, and it'll hold it from moving anymore. I mean, once we tighten it down, it'll be pretty good. But, you know, just extra caution, so this thing doesn't go all crazy. But as you can see, I mean, I think it'll be fine. I think that belt will be good. Yeah, so let me build that thing up, and I'll show you what I come up with. All right, there we go. Looking good. So, yeah, all I'm going to do now is I'll probably grind some of these edges off, make them rounded, like, you know, these other brackets are, just to make it look nicer. And maybe do something about this. But it's strong. I mean, it's sturdy. It ain't going anywhere, and it's adjustable still with the nuts down here. So, but I think the belt looks centered. Everything looks good, so I'm just going to kind of clean it up, take some of these sharp edges off of it, paint it black, and then I can lob this thing off, give it a little room, but I'll lob this thing off so I don't have to thread for 14 hours to try and get the nut down. And yeah, so I'll get that painted and cleaned up, and then, well, now we're on to the pull device, handle, whatever. Well, I've got ideas. So let me get that cleaned up, and then we'll move on to how to pull this thing around. All right, there we go. Look at that. Custom finished. Everything looks like it's going to work out good for that. I think it's done. It just, well, it needs one last thing. This can't be red. This can't be red. Yellow equals performance. Red, you're dead. Yellow, performance. There we go. Nice. All right, so everything works fine. Yeah, everything seems great. So I guess it looks good. I mean, it looks like I just bought this. I went down to Tractor Supply Company, TSC, and you know, I got a good deal. It only cost me like $800, so you know, it's pretty good. Yeah, so that's all done. Let's get this thing turned around, and then I'll show you what my idea is for the hitch. I guess we'll call it a hitch, the thing to pull it with. Let me get this turned around. I'll show you. All right. Stopped raining for like 30 seconds. So I ran out to the semi-permanent collection and to grab this. I think we can do it with this. I would like to use, you know, a trailer hitch, and then I could just put a ball on stuff that I want to pull this, you know, but regardless, I don't have that laying around. So here's what I came up with. This is the front from a Little Red Wagon. Some of you may recognize it from when I did the metal fender on Ducky. So that is leftover, but as you can see, right, and it goes up and down. So you have up and down and side to side movement. Is it strong? Nope. Is it made out of sheet metal? Yep. Are we going to use it? Yeah. This is what we have. So this is what we're going to use. And then this is an old chunk of mud flap mount from like a tractor or semi truck that somebody has kind of like boogered together, but it's big enough. And so then I just need to cut it to size and figure out where we want to you know, weld it onto the front of the Trail Mower 6000 STE. So let's see what we can do about kind of fabbing that up. I'm going to have to cut this axle out and the wheel, but whatever. Let's see what we can do, with getting this thing mounted on and see if we can't make that work. All right, here's what I came up with. So you can see I just have it clamped on to the braces we already ran up here to the motor. Yeah, they had welded the plate together, and yeah, I ground it down. I think it's okay. They're not the best welds, but then I did run a few beads on the bottom side, just I guess for grins and giggles. So I want to mount it this way because I don't want it to be dragging on the ground on that lip. So at least this way it's up a little bit. And then I measured the height of our pivot piece from the little red wagon, and that's 3 inches tall. So if I come in here, so it is 3.5 inches. So that means we have about a 1/2 inch of play, but I might be able to mount it forward a little way so it's not in any competition with the belt. But then again, it also, you know, it's not going to move up or anything. It's only going to move side to side. So yeah, let me get this tacked into place, and then we will see about cutting up the pivot piece, the hitch. We'll see about cutting up the hitch and making it. All right, plate is all tacked up. So here's my thought process on this. I want it to kind of be like this, right, on both sides. But if I cut that right there and make it the size I want, there is no lip then. The lip there. So all your strength goes away. So I think what I'm going to try and do is cut it on this line and then cut it over, so then once we get everything done, I can just fold this up. Yeah, it's kind of big, but that's okay. We can cut it off. Fold it up and like weld it here, and then do the same thing on the front, so you kind of have that lip and add the strength back in. So let me get this cut and see if we can't make this, you know, smaller but still strong. All right, there we go. So all that's left to do is fold on the dotted lines and you know, weld it together, and it's done. So let me fold it on the dotted lines. All right, so here's what we ended up with. I just tacked it, but it needs to get all cleaned up. It needs to get lubed. It's crunchy, and I just have 2 vice grips holding it on, but we have loads of clearance. I mean, we have inches of clearance. And if we look at it, it works as it should. You know, that goes up and down. This goes side, side. Plenty of clearance. So all that we need to do is weld it onto that plate, and it should work great. What isn't great is the fact that I'm out of time for this video. I need to get this edited and out to all of my awesomely wonderful subscribers. But before I leave, don't forget, be blessed, peace. Sure, as soon as it's time to go inside and edit a video, it stops raining. At least it's a beautiful day the Lord has made. Be blessed. Peace.